but that was still a very, very effective Banshee. It had 11 or 10 kills, which really pays for itself, and it stopped mining for so long.
Still nothing being produced by Fearful right now. He does have some supplies now, so he needs to start. He's actually getting a +1 upgrade for his melee attack, which is really unusual since he's going airplay. You think that he'd be getting Hydras out or something very quickly like that. He's got a lot of Spore Crawlers that are out too that unfortunately aren't doing a lot of damage, and he's going to soften those up a little bit so he can get some of his units in as well too.
If he just focuses on this Spore Crawler, it will die before it actually...
It only needs one hit. And he's going to lose this Banshee really quick. Yes, he does. Still, this Overlord is just sitting over here on the side. He needs to move that in. He'd see that there are 5 barracks now as well, too, so it looks like he's going to do some tech swap. But actually, I think that's going to play into the Zerg player a little bit. Fearful is really just kind of ready for bio play. He's got a lot of Zerglings. Let's see what he's... well, no. Maybe some Banelings would be good in that situation. No, he's still going with Banshee. So not only is he building bio units, but he's also still getting Siege Tank and Banshees out again. He's also getting 2 Engineering Base, so he's going to go for quick upgrades as well. And we do see Baneling Nest coming out as well, too. So, yeah, there he goes. He did scout all of those barracks. I'd tell you what would be good right now. Dez has a lot of minerals there. If he'd have just built all of these and not built any units out of them, maybe just a few units and still gone mech, knowing that this Overlord was coming in, he could have really outnumbered him with a lot of mech, and those Banelings don't do a lot of good versus tanks. They do even less damage to Banshees, and really not much damage to Thors as well either.
Yeah, and I can see he's got a few tanks, and it seems he's trying to get up his Marauder count a little bit. He has a Tech Lab on 3 rather, and Reactor on 2 of them. He's dropping a second Starport, so he's probably going to be getting Medivacs out of it as a Viking is coming. Vikings, of course, are really, really good for harassing Overlords.
Look at this.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, and we actually have a third that's coming up for the Fearful on the far gold side, and I don't think that Terran will ever see this expansion unless I doubt that he ever sees that. So that could turn to be a positive advantage for the Fearful as well here too. If we look at the army supply and the worker supply, army supply is pretty heavy in favor of Dez, but the Fearful is really doing pretty good on worker supply. So even though things are a little bit of disadvantage right now, the Fearful is not in a bad position here, and he can still take this battle.
Yeah, but this Viking is so close to the gold expansion. I'm really, really worried to see what happens.
He does see it. Nope.
No, he
does not see it. Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
So close.
I was thinking the Fearful sees his own hatchery coming up.
Oftentimes that happens.
No, but he is going to see that creep that's expanding, though. I can tell you that. If he's looking at it, he can actually see creep that's oozing out from this gold. I don't know if he's going to be looking for that. But even if he moves that to the right at all, he's going to see that hatchery coming down.
Yeah, and I don't really know why that Viking's just standing there. But
no, and there he does see it.
He sees it. He knows what is up. But if he moves out with all of his forces and Zerglings come in with that many Zerglings, he could do so much.
Yep. Yeah, and another...
Only sending a few.
Go ahead.
Only sending a few Marines, and if those get picked off, that actually might be beneficial. But then again, if the Terran pushes when all of his units are out of position...
Yeah, we have several Marines coming in. Fearful was ready for that. Oh, no, he's going to come around the other side here. What he really needs to do is get some of these in the Xel'Naga Tower. Still, neither player. Oh, no, we have one finally in the Xel'Naga Tower. And he does get a surround on all these Marines. They're going to go down so fast. I don't believe they have stem. They do have stem, but I don't... he used them... yeah, he did use it. Now we have the +1 on both of those coming up, although we do have +1 just finished for the Zerg and also the upgrade on that. Look, he's also making 10 drones. If we look at the supply count, oh yeah, 57 to 34. He's just going to macro up. He's going to macro this game, even though they're in close positions. Although we do see some so the Terran is moving up with tanks, and tanks are very deadly against Zerglings. Let's see if he can get those coming across. And he just needs to go all in. He doesn't need to pull back now. He's going to take those tanks very quickly. He actually does some and it gets those infestors on the Marines, and they're going to die very quickly as well too. Those medevacs aren't going to do a lot of damage, and he cleans all of that up. And now I don't believe there's any units at all. Only 2 tanks is all for Dez.
And Dez really doesn't have that much. Doesn't really have those minerals. He does actually have quite a few Marauders and 4 Marines, so he does have some. But it looks the Fearful with this expansion is going to be really set.
Oh, and look what we've got again. We got Neural Parasites coming out again. It looks like he's going to try to neural those tanks, although we do have a missile turret up, so I don't think he's going to get off any tanks unless he maybe swings around from the side. I just don't see it. But one thing I do see, though, Freeze, is a drop that's going to be coming in on this expansion. Oh, and looks like he's going to try to get some of these overlords here give up ground control. Oh, and he doesn't want those overlords seeing the drop that's coming in. That's what that is.
And it looks like the drop's actually going to go and...
Oh, he completely bypasses that fortress. He needs to hit that fortress before it finishes. But the Marines come in and they stem up. There are a lot of Marauders in this group for only Zergling play, and Marauders don't do very well against Zerglings. He's going to take this fortress down before it even finishes. He gets some units in there. Oh, and he does get the fungal growth off on all of these Marauders. They're going to die a quick and painful death. And one thing he probably should do is actually fungal that. It probably wouldn't be that great. I guess he could fungal and throw about 3 or 4 Marines out and probably lose that medevac as well too.
Yeah, and
Hive back
if
up.
I was a Zerg player, I would take another expansion.
Definitely.
Because the Zerg player must feel so safe.
Other than maybe an expansion would be good, especially in this other gold, but I would use it more as a macro hatch than as an actual expansion. Then if you have it, and you can use it. We do see a Ghost Academy up. They do well against bio units, but there are so many Zerglings here. If you snipe a Zergling, there's going to be 8 more behind it.
Yeah, it might be for the infestors.
That's true.
To actually get rid of their energy. But what if I was actually in the Zerg's position? He is taking a 4th base, but maybe take 2 more bases and start mining gas. And since the Protoss player has so many Marauders, try going Broodlords and maybe even Ultralisks, because Hive Tech is so good.
Yeah, I would like to see some Ultras come out. They would be pretty good against tanks, although not nearly as good as Broodlords. But Marines do usually fare pretty well against Broodlords if they can stem up and run past the Broodlings that are already out. So that'll be an interesting play to see. We only have 1 Harvester inside each of these refineries on Dez's natural. Let's see how he's doing on the main. He's got 3 on each of those, so he's doing pretty well. 3, and of course, in all of Fearful's. Oh no, he's only got 1 on this one. So nobody using all of their gas right now, as a matter of fact, too. We've got a Mobius reactor coming out, so he is going to get more energy at the start. So he's going to try to get that EMP off as soon as they're built. Look at all the infestors that are coming out here as well, too. So many infestors. He's going for banelings. He's going to go for a baneling bust. I'm not sure what those Banes are going to do with this tank sitting in the middle here. The tank is going to do a lot of damage. But
it's getting unsieged.
Oh, he is getting unsieged. Actually, those Banes might do pretty well against that missile turret, and then have the infestors burrow underneath and move. But it looks like he's going to move out his entire army. There is only 1 tank left. 1 tank versus all of those Zerglings and things. And the Zerglings are actually going to see those coming in, so it's not going to be a surprise. And he does move down, and he's going to take out this entire base. Yes, there is 1 tank. He may be able to clean a lot of that up, but no, he is moving back up. And he actually gets the tank, and now the tank belongs to the Zerg. He's going to go after all of these Marines, and those Marines are going to die very painfully. And he also gets a fungal on those as well. And still, no, he finally loses that tank, but it's going to die very quickly. Another tank is going to die. Unfortunately, infestors don't do a lot of damage themselves on that. I'll tell you, if he's got all of this energy, what I'd like to see is those infestors snagging those medevacs and healing up the Zerg units. That would be adding insult to injury there as well, too.
Yeah, and fungal growth, of course, does very well against Cloak Banshees because they're no longer cloaked after you drop down that fungal growth, and if only he could trade these infestors for Zerglings, then it would be pretty good. Only a few Marauders.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's just only just about Infestors. He lost almost all of those Infestors. He should have burrowed those. He lost all those. He knows he's got the advantage. He can move at any time, and yeah, he's trying to clean up with his Zerglings now. He's taking out the natural. He's taking out all of the major units. Marauders are not very good versus Zerglings, and he actually picks them up and drops them off again. A very good play, but unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough. Not much left here. Just that one tank, and now I don't think there's any units. There's one Marine for Dez, and I don't even know where it is on the map now. And there's the GG.